2, 1. Yo, everyone, you're listening to FilmakerMike and the boys. Joining me for this episode is Sequestered Jester.
Hey, everybody.
And Pinhead.
What's up?
Yeah, so Kuya is not here with us tonight. Like last week, we had a threesome, and we're having another threesome this week.
That's hot.
For whatever reason. But hey, Kuya is celebrating his lovely wife's birthday weekend with her. I'm not sure, they went on an out-of-town trip, I think. So we wish them well, and we hope they have a safe and fun trip. So and it'll be interesting to always hear feedback. Like, Jester, did you get to listen to the last episode?
I did, yes.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I thought you guys did really well. There was a couple things I disagreed with on the episode 2 of Falcon and Winter Soldier, but for the most part, I thought you guys did a great job. Really good communication with each other, and yeah.
Cool.
We definitely missed you, that's for sure.
I missed you guys too.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back. And then, of course, but hey, you know, life happens, and
yeah,
as exciting and as, you know, we know that everyone's like waiting for this monumental podcast of these guys, of all of us, to hear our voices. Like, yeah, right.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I made a joke at the last episode when we took like a week break, that some of the people, or some of the listeners, or some of the haters, maybe, I don't know, maybe even thought like, oh, they finally quit. Fuck yeah.
Finally rid of that rubbish.
Yeah. But, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just always fun to make fun of ourselves, I guess.
And I will say, for a disclaimer real quick, for the YouTube video, if you see me like jerking my arm a little bit, it's kind of it hurts. It hurts because I got the shot today. So
yeah. First dose. You got your microchip?
Yeah, the government's got me now, baby.
Oh boy! Oh, as if they couldn't hear your conversation on your mobile device.
So I'm just giving a warning because it is really tender right now. So it looks like it always looks like right now I'm winding up for the pitch. So
did they give you like a sticker or like a pin or a lollipop?
No, rotten bastards. I guess it's because it's my first dose, because all they gave me was, here, make sure you keep this so you can come back and make sure you can get your second dose.
Oh, your card. That right now, my friend, is the most valuable piece of paper you can ever have at this moment, because it gets you a free donut every day for the rest of the year at Krispy Kreme. We tried it last week with my wife. She just showed her card. So technically, I could take her vaccination card and they won't even read it. They'll just see that you get the card. And they're like, oh, here's a free donut. Like,
oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess there are some other businesses that have also gone in on the whole, like, hey, show your vaccination card, whether it's the 1 dose from Johnson & Johnson or or you're on your first dose of the 2 dose vaccination, and you get some deals on like local businesses and stuff like that. So there was like, I think in Idaho or Ohio, there's like an arcade bar that if you show your vaccination card, they'll give you like $5 or $10 in like tokens or something like that, and like discounts off drinks. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like,
dude, I feel like holding out now. I want to see what else I can get for free.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it was called the Livestock Event Center. We were livestock, I'll tell you, because they were like herding us in and like, fill your paperwork out, go in there, bam, 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 get it done. So
yeah, I'm getting mine on Wednesday at the drive-through at one of the local hospitals here. So I'm excited for that because I don't have to get down the car.
Do they have you like pull on your pants for your butt cheek or something? Do they put it there?
I know it's kind of hard to like be in the car. Like,
she got mad at me because I didn't have my arm lifted, like my shirt open. So she's like, you need to push that up further so I can stick you. I'm like,
oh,
whoa!
I'll just show up naked.
You should have given her your butt cheek.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just gonna show up naked, like just in case. Like you guys can put it wherever you want, I guess. Do whatever you need to do.
Oh man. But yeah, hey, you know what? That's what's happening right now. I gotta commend, what's happening right now as far as that, because
Step out for a second.
we are in essence, we're ahead of schedule. I wasn't even thinking that the general population would even get, vaccines until around May or maybe even June. But they are way ahead of schedule on that, and they're doing a really good job with the distribution of it. So I'm really impressed with that, and it's getting, we're slowly getting back to that sense and that state of normalcy, slowly but surely. So, yeah, and I'm sure, Jester, you saw the news that Disneyland. Did you see the trailer for the Avengers campus that they're opening?
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be building that during their whole COVID lockdown, right? Is it done yet?
Yes, it's done. There's a trailer, and they show the locations. There's the Avengers campus, and then it looks like there's the what's the name of Doctor Strange's place?
Oh, it's the
Sanctum Sanctorium. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it looks like a broken down version of it. And there's even like a Wakanda garden or something like that.
So did they give the Bugs Life a boot and they put it there?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, okay.
And I gotta say, I really like the Bugs Life area, the Bugs Land. Yeah. Because we always walk by it, and then we know that there was a restroom there. We know there was benches, and then a lot of the kiddie rides for the kids. And then they even had like an underground 3D or like 4D theater over there.
Yep.
They got rid of that. And then there is a Disney fan group, a Disneyland fan group, that was like making posters for a Bugs Land. When in the Avengers Endgame style poster, "Avenge the Fallen," and it's the Bugs Land. It's a Bugs Land. Is that like that chubby bug from Bugs Life?
Oh, the caterpillar. Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, that the Avengers campus is set to open in June, but of course, currently, Disneyland, when it opens officially, I think in like next week or 2 weeks, is only open to California residents so far.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, and I think, of course, it does make sense because they are going to limit the amount of people in there. Because if they were like, "Hey, Disneyland's open, come everyone come over,"
Yeah.
like, holy shit, like everyone who's been waiting is gonna be like, "I want to build a lightsaber. I want to like give me my blue milk, my green milk," like, By the way,
it's gonna be a nightmare.
did you see the TikTok that I showed? Or like, there's an Instagram video as well of your favorite Tom Brady at Disney World building a lightsaber.
Yeah, I saw that. He was at was it Disney World, right?
Yeah, Galaxy's Edge and Disney World. Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't like him. Yeah, I mean, it's just like hey, look at me, I'm famous, and I'm gonna get more followers so I can go to the Super Bowl again next year and ruin everyone's dreams. How about that, huh, son? Won't give me a kiss?
Yeah, I think that's also because he won the Super Bowl, of course, and I think he was the MVP.
I'm sure he was the most veiny thing.
Yeah, so there was a whole part of it like, hey, when they win the Super Bowl, the MVP's like, "I'm gonna go to Disney World." Like, there was a video on Instagram of him trying the blue milk and the green milk, and I think he preferred the blue milk or I think it was the green. I'm not sure. Can't remember.
Whichever one's got steroids in it. I don't know if he takes steroids. I throwing shade.
Oh yeah.
Look, the guy's a fantastic athlete. I don't deny. He's an amazing guy, but like, I just don't like him. Like, I listened to the guy drop the N-bomb and like nobody cared, and I just laughed. Yeah. I was like, "Are you kidding me? This guy gets the best."
You would have thought that would have made like, "Ooh, controversial news. Yeah, we're canceling Tom Brady."
Nobody cares. Like, seriously, dude.
Like, oh, Tom Brady? Oh yeah, he's good. Oh, our buddy? Oh, he gets a pass.
Forget that, man.
Anyone with the last name Brady's good.
Oh gosh.
Oh man. But yeah, I just thought as soon as I saw it, and then of course you got on Easter Sunday, Jared Leto posted. Someone sent him a picture of their grandma worshiping a picture of Jared Leto who looks like Jesus. Gosh. And then of course they sent it to Jared Leto, and of course he posted, and the hashtag was praise be.
Dude, don't feed that guy's ego. Like, don't.
I
Like,
know, right?
he already has a cult. Don't do that.
And that's
Like,
why as soon as I saw it, of course, I had to tag you. And of course, he posted it on Easter Sunday. Like, holy shit!
oh my gosh, dude, so bad.
Oh man, and yeah, for those who may be wondering, like, what the hell is he talking about? I shared it on the Instagram for Filmmaker Mike and the boys. So if you're not following us on Instagram, make sure you follow us on Instagram at FMANDTB. So that's the Instagram for the show. And then, of course, you can follow us on Twitter at FMANDTB Podcast. And then, of course, on YouTube, you can just search Filmmaker Mike and the boys. You will see the channel, and you can follow us there. You can subscribe. And you can also subscribe to Jester and Pinhead's channels. They're also making some content. So check it out. It's fun. And then, of course, we're also on Facebook. Just search for Filmmaker Mike and the boys, and you should see our page. And we only share that, of course, whatever social media you prefer. You can follow us on whichever one. And then when we do updates for the show, you can always see that. Or when we share stuff or post stuff, you can always see that. Or if you don't care about social media, and you're like, fuck you guys, I'm not following you. Hey, that's fine. As long as you're listening to the show, that's still something. So, you know. But yeah, such is the fun stuff. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And my goodness, this series is moving along. We've got 6 episodes and we've already seen 4. We've got 2 episodes left. And so we did so for the first 3 episodes, episode 1 is New World Order, is 49 minutes. Episode 2, The Star Spangled Man, 49 minutes. And then, of course, last week's episode 3, Power Broker, was 53 minutes. Of course, not including the 7 minutes of, you know, it's impressive when you see like, oh my God, almost a full hour after WandaVision, throw it in 30 or like 20-minute episodes or whatever.
With and then Disney goes,
Yeah, exactly.
6 minutes of credits there, fellas.
Yeah, and there's no zooming in Vision's eye this time, or his cataract or whatever. So the newest episode 4, The Whole World is Watching, is another 53 minutes. And so for episode 4, the description goes, John Walker loses patience with Sam and Bucky as they learn more about Carly Morgenthau. And so, yeah, the series is moving along. It really does almost feel like just one big movie, and they just split it up into chapters. For me, that's how I feel it is. And each episode for me just keeps elevating and keeps getting better and better as we go in each episode. So I do want to mention for the last episode, episode 3, Power Broker, we got a slow-mo shot of Baron Zemo and Bucky and Sam walking in the club. And then we even got Zemo doing his best, like shaking, like throwing the dice dance move, which everyone requested for the release the Zemo cut. And of course, Disney released the Zemo cut of 10 seconds, or maybe if it's even 10 seconds of Zemo dancing on a loop for an hour, you know, over and over. And everyone is like, yeah, they released the Zemo cut. Look at that. Suck on that. DC fans, suck on that. And I'm like, dude, are you guys really comparing a dance scene over a movie that was butchered? Like,
that's because they're petty. They're petty.
Yeah. And I'm like, and I actually got into it with some people online on Facebook.
I bet you did.
And this guy was like, I stopped at 2 hours for the Snyder cut. And I'm like, it's a 4-hour movie. There's 2 more hours. And then he was like, yeah. And I watched the Zemo cut. And I'm like, yeah, but no one cares. No one will even care to watch the whole hour of the Zemo cut on a loop. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, holy shit. Slow your roll there, buddy.
The Zemo
jeez,
cut.
yeah, like really,
Jesus,
because
I'm
that really trended
serious.
over several years, and that really raised awareness and money for suicide prevention. Like, come on,
Here's the
give
one
me
thing.
a break.
I know it's annoying, like believe me, but the thing is this is what I was talking about when I saw the fans get what they wanted with the Snyder Cut. Is that more fans will do the same with whatever else they want. This is the good thing. Disney did what they wanted. Now I hope that bleeds into other companies being like, oh, I mean, this is getting us a bunch of publicity. Let's do the same thing. So in the end, I hope it ends up working out well for the Snyder Cut. For whatever reason, Warner Brothers just has their like iron fist over anything that people love. So it's, I don't know, their egos too big right now to let anything happen. But I hope that changes, man. I really do. So
We don't like money here at Warner Brothers. At the Brothers Warner, we don't like to make money.
we like our egos stroked way more.
Hold on. So the Marvel fans, the Disney fans who requested for the Zemo cut, they got what they wanted. Does that mean they're, oh my God, entitled? Dun, dun, dun. Because holy shit, when we got the Snyder Cut after fucking begging and hashtagging the shit out of release the Snyder Cut, people said, oh, why are they giving it to them? They're entitled. Like, wow, okay. Really?
Down, party poopers, bro.
Jeez Louise.
Some
and I'm
people
like,
just really don't like people being happy. Like,
seriously. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to like the Snyder Cut. But it doesn't mean that you need to trash people who enjoy it. Like, let people enjoy what they enjoy. Like, and I mean, come on. If any comic book property, superhero property, I mean, right now we're in the golden age of superhero entertainment. It is the number one. I mean, come on, Marvel movies have made billions of dollars. If any comic book property, whether it's DC or Marvel or it's Invincible on Amazon Prime, or it's another, original superhero property or something that, starts out and does well, it's a good thing for everyone because that means we're going to keep getting more of that stuff,
Yep.
It's not like, because I remember like an article like a few years ago, someone said something along the lines of, oh, the superhero movie will go the way of the Western one day. It's going to go to that. But, I'm hoping it doesn't.
Be a while.
Yeah, it's going to be a while because, I mean, as long as they're telling compelling stories and they're making these, these characters compelling enough to follow and enjoyable and all these things, then I think people are just going to want more of it. Pinhead, go ahead.
And to be honest, who cares if that happens? That would be an honor because it would be in a category like sci-fi and horror and the Western. They never die. Mm-hmm. That nonsense, oh, it died. No, it didn't. It may have not have been as prevalent, but it always comes back and has this huge resurgence because we see it in every decade or every other decade where people get this hankering to make a Western film. Yep. So it never dies like these idiots out. It's dead and it's gone and it's never coming back. Okay, say that in 10 years when you'll probably still be alive. And it probably won't even take that long. And you'll see this resurgence of Westerns and horrors and sci-fi picks, but it's dead. That's the definition of dead means cease to exist and it cannot come back. So,
right.
I don't think these things ever will die. Will they continue? Will we ever see the continued, billions and billions of dollars like we once had seen? I don't think so. But they're not gonna die. It's impossible. Mm-hmm. The pop culture significance alone, you can't kill it. Like people like my grandparents who don't care about these things know about them. So the pop culture significance alone, you can't kill it. You just can't.
Right. That's true. That's very true. And so, of course, diving into this episode, man, what an episode. It's taken quite a turn not going to bury the lead here, of course. John Walker got a hold of the serum.
Spoilers.
And now he's enhanced.
Yeah, dude. Like I thought he was already enhanced. Was that just me?
I did too. Like, thank you. I was like, I thought he was already enhanced. And
I didn't. I didn't think he was.
Well, it was like they told us that he wasn't, but he was just so like twitchy and like just angst all the time. I thought he had.
Yeah, I
something
thought
going
he
on
was
with him.
either enhanced or a tweaker. That's the only two options. Those are the only two options.
Yeah.
Because you're right. He was always twitching and like acting funny and like. Now, once again, like I've stated before, like with WandaVision, maybe that's a mental health issue, which we might see as we go down the line at the end of this episode where he loses his shit. But we'll get into that. But I agree with you. You're not the only one, Jester. I actually thought that he was enhanced too, but I was wrong.
It must be from the PTSD. I mean, what their three was it 3 Medal of Honors he has, right?
Yeah, that makes more sense with the PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, in that a few episodes ago when he came to save the day like an actual comic book, like when he came to save the day in the helicopter, when they jumped on the truck, like you could see that he was struggling. Like he was struggling in the fight. Like he wasn't, and it took him a while. Like when he was hanging off the edge of the truck, it took him a while to get up. So
well, that's what threw me off is like, because when I was thinking about it, I was like, because you do now that you bring that up, when I was thinking about it, I was like, if this guy's enhanced, he's one of the biggest pussied version of enhanced soldiers ever. Because I remember going like, I thought he was enhanced, but I'm like, he's getting his ass kicked.
Yeah.
So, but the only reason why I thought he was enhanced is for, if you watch it for that same episode, for a certain amount of time, who we know Bucky is enhanced, he was holding his own better with them than Bucky was. That's why I thought he was enhanced. Because we know Bucky is, and Bucky was getting his ass kicked, and then this guy comes in, and for a moment before that, where he gets his ass kicked and he's struggling, that's why I thought he was enhanced, because he was holding his own more than Bucky was with those guys.
Right.
That's the only part of confusion I had. So
yeah, I do want to jump back to the very beginning because it kicks off right where the last episode ended, and Bucky is talking to Ayo, who is a warrior from or one of the Dora Milaje from Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
And we see a flashback because of course last episode she was telling him we want Zemo because he's responsible for the death of King T'Chaka. Because of course events in Civil War, he framed Bucky when in fact Zemo was the perpetrator and the murderer of King T'Chaka. So Wakanda wants him to be brought to justice, so they want to take him back to Wakanda. And of course, Bucky is explaining to her that she's asking him, like, why did you release him? Why did you get him out of prison? And he's letting her know that he's explaining to her that he's a means to an end. They need him to be able to, get down to the bottom of what's going on right now. And then we see this flashback of him and her back in Wakanda right after the events of Civil War. So in between Civil War and Infinity War, where he doesn't have his cybernetic arm, and she tries to say those key phrases, those key words, to try to see if he still, can succumb as the Winter Soldier, and it doesn't work. And it's just a really raw and very emotional and powerful performance of him really like struggling, and like when he's just like, in tears, and then she confirms after she says all the words that he doesn't succumb to, switching back to the Winter Soldier, when she tells him, "You are free." Mm-hmm. And you just see that like genuine like joy and happiness that he's finally, been freed of that, because for the longest time he's been a slave to it, and whoever would get a hold of him or would control him and say those words would basically be their, do their bidding and essentially be a slave, to that, due to that programming from Hydra. So that was a really powerful performance right at the beginning. I was just like, wow.
That guy's got range, man. His acting performance is really good.
Right.
He
Yeah.
could do comedy, and then he does that dramatic scene, and then he does anger. You know, he's all over the place. I think it's really good, really impressive to watch.
Right. Right. But yeah, and then of course later on, they're tracking down Carly, and Sam is really trying to reason and like let them know like, hey, let me talk to her first. And it makes sense, but that, you know, of course, when we were introduced to Sam in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, he was helping other service members with PTSD and like talking to them and what they've been through and their experiences and all that. So it made sense that, yeah, let me talk to her first, you know. And then, but also before that, they the Dora Milaje show up at the hotel the hotel that they were staying at, the room that they were staying at, to claim Zemo. And then of course John Walker's already there, and like, you're not gonna get him, like, who are you? And they basically laid a smackdown on him and Battlestar,
dude.
and he was just like, they weren't even super soldiers. Like, he was like in shock. And I'm like, yeah, boy, you don't need to be a super soldier to kick fucking ass. Like, what's
Dude.
up? Like, wow.
His ass.
Oh man, best scene of the episode too, because I mean
It
they handed it to those guys, and they were handing it to Bucky and Falcon when they jumped in halfway through. 'Cause
Yeah.
they were just gonna let it happen.
Yeah, I kind of thought it was odd that they'd be fighting with Bucky and with Sam. Like, dude, like, are we not, like, you guys know them? But of course, it just got out of hand that they were just like, fuck you
Yeah.
guys, we're taking Zemo. Like, give him to us. Like, enough of this shit. Like, we're not gonna take this shit. We're fucking Dora Milaje. Like, you know, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I thought it was interesting when one of them got a hold of the shield, because it
Yeah.
is the vibranium shield. You know, that's what they hold near and dear, because I mean, that is Wakanda, is a huge part of the vibranium, has been a part of their life and their culture. So, and then she was like, just leave it.
Yeah.
So really, yeah, it was an excellent scene. Yeah, because when at a certain point when John has the shield, like, she throws the spear and locks the shield, like he can't even remove it, and he's like struggling. He's like trying to remove it. It's like, he looks like a little kid. Like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah, that's a
And
vibranium spear.
And it's a further testament to, just because you have the shield of Captain America doesn't make you Captain America.
Exactly.
She made you. You were her bitch.
Exactly. Exactly.
That further is a testament to that, and it kind of proves more so that Sam should have kept the damn shield. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Exactly.
like this little punk ass, like she swept the leg for the most part. Like, she wasn't even going her hardest on you, and she took you out.
Right.
She didn't even break a sweat. She wasn't even trying her third of a hardest. And she whooped that ass. So,
Right.
and you're the new Captain America.
Yeah,
You know?
supposed to be. And
Yeah.
the thing I was telling Pinhead last night at work that I felt about this, not just this episode, but the series so far. This may be an unfair comparison, but I want to mention it in a sense, because it kind of reminded me of this. So in Star Wars: The Force Awakens, a huge part of that movie was Luke Skywalker. Like, I remember J.J. Abrams was like, who is Luke Skywalker? Like, you won't see him in the film, or like, he's a huge part of the film. You can feel his presence and all that stuff through the film, which I kind of did. But in this series, I feel the presence of Steve Rogers, this overwhelming like shadow of Captain America and who Steve Rogers was. And I feel it like in every episode, like this whole weight of like, yeah, this is a huge, and now I'm realizing more and more that, yeah, I don't blame Sam for giving up the shield, but at the same time, I kind of do, because like, you know, you could have at least talked to Bucky about it, or maybe if you didn't feel like you were right for it, maybe you could have handed it to Bucky instead, you know, something like that. Which we know, of course, Bucky in the comic books for a certain time does use the shield and become, you know, Captain America for a while. But yeah, I just realized like the whole presence of like Luke Skywalker in The Force Awakens. Yeah, it's kind of there, but it's of course, but then of course that's a 2-hour film, and then here you're getting a series where you're like really taking a little bit more time, and you're really feeling more of that presence of Captain America, and not just like a few characters. You're seeing it from like really different perspectives from all sides basically. You're hearing
A
yeah
2-hour film shouldn't make any difference. If you're a good storyteller and that's what you were trying to get, you would have felt that presence of, your favorite space wizard throughout the
right
entire.
right.
That's
That's
just
true.
bad. That's bad. That's compared, because this is the difference between really good storytelling here and Jar Jar Abrams storytelling.
That's true. You do have a point because
And
yeah,
I don't like to continue to kick him, because I do have respect for some of his work. He just has a hard time getting there and getting it done. And I can tell there's a much higher caliber of, I don't know who it is. Maybe he's behind the scenes like the Wizard of Oz, but I can feel on this show there's a much higher caliber of writing. Like it's so much tighter. The acting is really good. It feels to me, not to go off the rails or off topic. I said 24, it's got that feel to it, but even now with this episode, it's got that, what made Tom Clancy so prevalent in America today, like why those books flew off the shelves, and then they turned into movies, which turned into video games and t-shirts and etc. But that's good storytelling. With the, with where you, I know where you're going with what you're talking about with Jar Jar Abrams. It's like, I didn't feel that I would, because that was one thing. I'm glad you brought it up, because that was one thing that got me excited about that movie, was the fact that he kept saying that. He's like, he may or he may not be, or even if he isn't, you'll feel his presence throughout the entire movie. And it's like, where? Just because you said that guy over there in that area, that's bad writing.
right.
So that's all I'm saying is the difference between, high quality writing and ho-hum writing, or
Right.
as we like to say around here, average, middle of the road.
Yeah, and I don't mean to knock down. The Force Awakens, I think, is still a great film. I still enjoy it.
I enjoyed it.
What I'm trying to get at, yeah, is definitely the comparison of, like, because one of the other things that I guess Michael Arndt, who wrote, I think he wrote Toy Story 3, and I'm sure he wrote other films. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But one of the things that he was struggling with when writing like the first drafts of the Force Awakens was that when Luke Skywalker was introduced or was brought in, like, halfway through the movie, he just overtook everything, and it was just like overwhelming. Like, how do you balance the characters, or like, story or whatever? And I kind of see why they put him at the end of it. Like, yeah, they're looking for him, Rey finds him, and all that stuff. But then I also see a much better story, because I mean, we only got 3 films. I mean, that's the whole thing about the Star Wars trilogy, right? You get 3 films for each like each like trilogy. So you're already like doing a huge disservice in a sense, because you're putting, I mean, hello, Luke Sky, like essentially Star Wars at the end of it. Yeah, you're getting the Millennium Falcon, you're getting Han Solo, all that, but I mean, come on. Like, I still feel like there's a different version of that film where Luke Skywalker is introduced halfway through the film, and you can still have, Rey, and you can still have all these other characters interacting with that character, and not necessarily him overtaking and overstepping everyone. And I feel like in this series, supposedly, I was reading something earlier, we might get a huge cameo, but of course, we won't get too excited, because that could be a Mephisto.
Yeah.
But then I wouldn't put it beyond them. I mean, who knows? We could see old Cap Steve Rogers. Who knows? Why not? but then it doesn't mean that he's going to overtake the series. Granted, yeah, he'll be much older and he's essentially retired if that happens. But if they bring him in, it's going to be for a good specific reason that will serve the story, and the characters. So, but yeah, everything so far about the series, like again, each episode keeps getting better and better. And then yeah, we lead up to when Sam has that conversation because they're looking for Mama, what's her name? I forgot her name.
Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia.
We'll just call her that for right now because I have no idea.
Mama something. And like everyone was like, as they were walking in there. Oh,
Mama
and talk about how sneaky Baron Zemo is with that Turkish delight. Like
want some candy, kids?
It's when you think about it, it's very simple.
Mhm.
But my God, is a genius. Like holy shit.
Candy.
Yeah. Nothing like getting a kid to do your bidding when you got some candy. Like,
Well, he gave her what, like $500 too?
Yeah, for her family, which was nice. I mean, he could have just been like, here's more candy. Like,
yeah.
Enjoy that with your family. But yeah, that was nice.
I don't know why, but when he said TT, I lost my shit.
Yeah, that too.
They all gave him looks.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about when Captain Nemo or Baron's when he said it, I was like, I just lost my shit because the way he said your TT, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like just the way he delivers lines is pretty damn good. Like because he was a pretty average, average, middle of the road character. Now because he's been given better material, we get to see how well this actor does with the material he's given, and what he's doing with it is fantastic. Because just those little things like that make it like give you that little laugh out loud moment where you can go, okay. And then he can be really intense to where you're like, this motherfucker, I hope someone bashes his head in. Like we get to that moment really soon right after that. So
yeah. So the whole TT bit, that got me laughing hard.
Me too, dude. I couldn't help myself.
Well, there was a couple of them, man. I mean, his head tilt, when
yeah,
he's intimidating. He's doing that head tilt thing, man. Look out, and he just kind of like straightens it out a little bit.
So in Tagalog, TT, which is TITI, actually means literally it means dick. Dick. So when he was saying TT, I was like, what the fuck?
So
and I get it though. I get it why he would call her that. It makes sense. But in Tagalog, like Filipinos watching that episode, holy shit.
They were losing their shit.
Yeah. By the way, the last episode, where they're in Madripoor. Oh yeah, we did mention it. There's a hip hop Tagalog song where Tagalog, the rapper is like rapping in Tagalog, and I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. But yeah, and that's why Kuya in our messenger chat on Friday was like, all I know is my TT is proud of me and I'm proud of my TT. That's why he messaged that for context. So yeah, but yeah, so Mama Donya is the
Mama Donya, okay.
Yeah, and is the person who took in Carly and a lot of those people and like fed them and like took care of them. And I just thought it was like funny and interesting when they were like Mama Donya, and we were just like leaving, closing the door, and like, get the fuck out of here. Like, we don't want to talk to you. Like, oh, it's those guys. But I also find it interesting that they are showing that the blip, the after effects of the blip, and of course the after effects of bringing everyone back has caused so much turmoil into the lives of the average people. We've seen what it's done, of course, like, when our heroes were blipped out of existence into dust, and then now we're seeing what it's done to average Joe Schmoes and average people, like just living their lives. It's crazy how the world and like, of course, the more powerful like countries or whatever has like moved on and like forgetting other, the people who really need help. So I thought that was fascinating. But yeah, I thought that was a really interesting conversation. I think Zemo was the one who mentioned to Sam right? That Carly is essentially a supremacist. You cannot reason with her. You cannot discuss anything with her because she is basically holding this ideal absolute, and that's why Zemo believes that there cannot be any super soldiers because that's basically leads to the Avengers, for him. And it all ties back to Civil War and the fact that he was able to dismantle the Avengers from the inside out without any powers, without any, anything fancy. It's just all simple, diversion and actually looking for the weak points and exploiting it. And of course, with the history of Bucky killing Tony Stark's parents. But yeah, when he has that conversation with Carly, you've got, Bucky and John Walker and Battlestar and Zemo waiting there in the room next door. And Walker, of course, is just like, he can't wait for it. Like, he's just like done. But Bucky's like, it hasn't even been 10 minutes yet. And then Walker's like, are you going to let your partner die in there? Like, he gives him a guilt trip, which like gets to him, obviously. And that's when they bust in, Carly's just like, I'm done with this. Like, so, but yeah, and I thought it was interesting when she tries to get away and then Zemo finds the super serum. For a second, I thought that he was going to take like one for himself.
Yeah.
But it really shows you that he's just like, no, forget that. He just starts breaking the vials of the serum. And then we see Walker, he just flats out throws a shield at Zemo's face. Like, holy shit, dude. This guy. I mean, I guess we saw Steve Rogers like knock out what's his name? Baron von Strucker in Age of Ultron with a shield. But the way that John Walker just threw the shield, you see that shield like freaking hit Zemo in the face. Like, holy shit.
Well, he's reckless.
Yeah.
That's a further testament to like Jester once said, his douchebag nature. Like he's a reckless douchebag.
Yeah.
Right.
And that further pushes the narrative. Like I said, just because you have the shield doesn't mean you're Captain America. So,
but I mean,
none of the values whatsoever, any of them. No, I don't know anybody on the team of the Avengers, and the Hulk concluded that's as reckless as this idiot.
I do like what the show is doing as far as like asking questions, because there's moments where like, oh yeah, I hate Walker, but that conversation he had with Battlestar, where they were saying like, man, if we had the serum, man, like we would have saved so many lives that day when they got their stars.
Right.
And you got that, and then you got Freckles talking about her side. The only thing that I disagree with on her was that she killed people, man. Like, and that's what Sam was trying to tell her, like, you're doing it all wrong. But I see why you're fighting it. You're just fighting it wrong. And so it's what I liked about the Winter Soldier so much when that came out, the Captain America 2. It asks really important questions that are super relevant to today. And we're getting way more of that in this one, just all packed in each episode. We're getting something every episode, so I like that we're getting that. And Zemo's, it's tough for me because I like the dude, but it's like, yeah, you're a bad guy, you should probably go away. But it's like, yeah, if you escaped, I wouldn't be that upset.
right And also when Sam is talking to Carly and he brings up to her, like, a friend of mine said, you're a supremacist. She's like, no, I'm not. Like, it's like when he's putting it in her face, like, oh, you're doing all of this wrong. Like, she's like, no, I'm not. I'm trying to do something right. Like, of course, she can't see it. She's not seeing it that way. She's not seeing that perspective.
It throws her off. She's like,
yep.
I didn't mean it like that. It's like, well, but that's how you said it.
Exactly. And then he asked her, what are you doing with the serum? Well, you're gonna build a larger army, right? I mean, what else is the point of having the serum with you, or having that stash? She obviously just has that goal of building a bigger army. And then so when we jump forward to that confrontation where they're supposed to meet again, and she tells or she threatens Sam's sister and his nephews. That's what gets Sam, like, you threatened my sister, like, because she basically calls her on the phone. Carly tells her, like, how are the boys or whatever, and Sam just basically tells his sister, like, hey, like, pack a bag and go to mom's or something, or like, no, not mom's, because their parents are gone. But he tells her, like, just go somewhere, or go to a safe, I can't remember, like a safe area, and let me know when you're there. When he finally meets Carly again for the second time, like, she tells him to go alone, or the sister relays the message, like, you need to go alone. And then of course Bucky shows up with him, and then they're, before you know it, they're talking, and then they find out the plan of Carly is to basically murder John Walker, the symbol, right? That was the plan, to like get to him, to show the world, like, hey, we can take on this new Captain America, quote unquote, like, because that'll mean something if we take down that symbol. And then of course when John Walker and Battlestar are going into that location, Battlestar they get separated. Battlestar gets like kidnapped by some of the flag smashers. They tie him up, and then John Walker confronts these other flag smashers, and it's pretty obvious there that when he throws that shield, it's like, holy shit, he put a dent in that door or something. Like, he's enhanced now. And just the way the cinematography was done and everything, like, man, there's something different about him now, because he slipped that vial of serum in his pocket earlier.
Yeah.
So, which to that point, like, it's helped him, because at least now, even if he's outnumbered with these flag smashers, he can take them on. Unlike, a few episodes ago on top of the truck, like, he was struggling. So, and then of course when he finally we see Battlestar, like, he wakes up and he's got a knife and he's starting to free himself, when they finally get to see each other, and Carly's there, and then who is it that Carly, does Carly kick Battlestar, or like,
no, it was somebody else. It was I think it was her right hand man, right? Because that's the one that Walker went over and like smashed his head in with the shield.
But it wasn't him. It wasn't him.
It wasn't him.
Huh?
It wasn't him?
No, it wasn't him. I'm pretty sure it was Carly, because he does say, like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh,
that's why. Yeah, that's why Walker is looking for her. Because I think when she gets there, she kicks him or something. I have to rewatch.
Yeah, she kicked him into the wall. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was so hard that it just like killed him straight up. Like,
I was wondering, because I turned around and all next thing I know he was dead, and I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, she did something, like, the way she hit him was so powerful, and his body just could not take it, and it just, like, he hit his head, I think, on the wall or something.
Yeah,
that was it. Like, he was gone.
And then Dollar Tree Captain America snapped, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, it takes like he tries to wake him up, and he's like, hey, he's trying to wake Lamar, is like trying to wake him up, but he doesn't, and like he's just out. He's
okay, old. So that makes more sense, because I was like, I literally saw that point. I turned around, he's dead, and then I see Dollar Tree Captain America standing over him, seeing him dead, and then he snaps. I'm like, what did I just turned away for like 10 seconds. What the hell happened?
Yeah, because I think she tried to kill Walker, but I think Lamar got in the way or something like that. And then once she realized she killed Lamar, like, she hightailed out of there.
Yeah, of course.
And then the other guy started running too, and then Walker like started chasing after them, and he just like smashes through the window, and he like finds that her right hand man. And that's it. Like, he knocks him out with a shield, and then of course right in front of everyone, because he's just like so enraged, like, he just killed my best friend. Like, he just starts like smashing that guy with a shield, and like, man, we've never seen Captain America. We've seen him throw his shield and use his shield against Nazis and other bad guys, but never to the point of beating someone bloody to a pulp with the shield. Never that way. Unlike this, unlike of course, what Walker did to that guy with the shield.
Dude,
And
I was I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just like sitting in my chair, like, let me just back out and make sure I'm not watching a DC movie for a second, because this is
I was gonna
dark.
say, I was saying the same thing. I was like, "Welcome to the big boy table, Marvel."
Yeah, right.
Finally got out of your booster seat.
Yeah, someone posted a meme of Walker like looking up, or like the camera's looking up at him with a shield, and he's like holding up the shield, and then Deadpool from Deadpool 2, or I think Deadpool 2 or Deadpool 1, like, why so dark? Are you sure you're not a DC movie?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Like in this case, it's well earned because
it is
built up. It built up over time. It's right. It's like Pinhead mentioned. It's really excellent writing. So yeah, and then everyone's surrounding in that town square had their phones out, of course. Some I'm probably sure are on a Facebook live stream, an Instagram live stream. Some are just recording on a video, but it doesn't matter. It's now, and it appropriately titled the episode, "The Whole World is Watching." Mm-hmm. And then of course Bucky and Sam are just like looking in disbelief. Yep. And I'm sure Sam is probably thinking like, this is my fault. To some sense, because that's the shield. He gave it up. And it went to someone else that's, as Pinhead mentioned, reckless.
I like how symbolic the blood on the shield was too at the end, the last shot.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. It was well done.
Yeah. And a lot of people on social media were bringing up that scene from the very first Captain America movie, the first Avenger, when Dr. Erskine is speaking to Steve Rogers the night before the experiment for the super soldier serum. Dr. Erskine tells Steve Rogers, "Promise me one thing, whatever happens tomorrow, you will remain a good man. Not a perfect soldier, but a good man."
Yeah.
That's what Steve Rogers was, basically.
Yeah.
He was, whatever happened, he was still a good man. And John Walker is not a good man. He's a perfect soldier, it seems like, but he's not a good man, as you can see at the very end of this episode. Like, wow.
Well, it was not only that, but you have even Zemo said, well, there hasn't been another Captain America, or there hasn't been another Steve Rogers, correct?
Right.
And they all just kind of like look at each other. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
So.
And bringing it back to episode 2, when Bucky was pissed off at Sam and told him, like, if he's wrong about you or one of us, or if he's wrong about you, then that means he's wrong about me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, I felt that. I was like, holy shit. Yeah. To have your existence, like, basically to question that, and to realize that your best friend was wrong about you or wrong about everything. Like, wow, that's a lot to take on. Like, huge weight on your shoulders. So, but yeah, so we got 2 episodes left, and
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like so much could happen too. Like, that's so open right now. I have no idea.
Right. And I think that's the sign of a good story and a good series, is when you can kind of speculate or guess what's going to happen next, but then based on even what they showed in the trailers, but there's still the possibilities are endless. So much can still happen. So and I'm really curious as far as John Walker. I almost feel like I kind of want to see, like, who's he answering to specifically, because Steve Rogers, we knew that he would answer to Nick Fury, to SHIELD, basically.
Right.
Who's John Walker? I want to see someone above who's the head honcho above John Walker that's giving him, he's the new Captain America, but there has to be someone, there has to be someone overseeing him. And
maybe he's secretly oversaw by the stockbroker or whatever, the mortgage broker.
Power broker. That's right.
Broker,
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Some people are speculating that the power broker could be Zemo himself.
Possible.
Interesting.
Yeah. So who knows? Yeah, that's another thing.
Pull the
that we'll find
strings
out.
all on.
But it's got to be Mephisto or Agatha.
All along.
Yeah, we're gonna get
Mephisto.
that jam. We're gonna get that that breakdown. That jam's gonna break into that next episode or two, and Zemo's gonna start doing his best, dice throwing dance.
Dude, that I guess that dance was improvised. Did you know that?
Oh, I'm not surprised.
That
I'm
like
not surprised.
I guess he did an interview, and he was saying that he was just doing it on the side, didn't think that they were gonna even use it for anything, and so they ended up wanting the full cut.
I'm sorry, but all these people out here blowing their loads over his dance moves, they're fine. But they ain't stepping to Nicolas Cage's dance moves, because his dance moves in Willy's
Oh my
Wonderland,
gosh.
they blow Captain Nemo's out of the water. So
So there's a bunch of memes, of course, ever since Zemo busted a move on the dance floor.
oh God, of
Um,
course.
One of my favorites is the 4 horsemen of dancing, and
Jeez.
it's basically, hold on, I'm trying to look for it. It is Star-Lord, Zemo, Peter Parker from Spider-Man 3,
3, yeah, Tobey
and of
Maguire's.
course Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. So
Oh man, I I don't know, man. Chris Pratt kind of like surprised me when that opening scene happened. So I think
Yeah.
he takes the cake for me. As cringy and wonderful as Tobey Maguire's is, I think Pratt takes the cake on that one.
yeah.
I just like the music behind Joker's, man, when he's doing that dance, man.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like,
yeah.
I love Joaquin the best. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's
Just that dance, man. And like,
yeah, because it started a phenomenon too. So
Yeah,
right
it did.
when
That's true.
when that film debuted, a lot of people were going to that those famous that famous stairway in New York, and a lot of local people were getting pissed off, and local businesses were getting pissed off because
fucking tourists.
tourists were going there and not spending a dime on their local businesses. They just wanted to see, like, and I remember a bunch of memes, like me and my boys going to the holy trip or whatever, to the sacred stairs, making a sacred pilgrimage.
Jeez.
So, yeah. Yeah, and there's some great behind the scenes footage of Joaquin Phoenix as well when they were filming that. Like, that scene, that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's Falcon and Winter Soldier. Next up I want to talk about is Invincible. Have you guys been able to check it out?
Nope. Haven't
No.
seen it.
Not yet? Okay.
Nah.
Well, there is, I think, 4 episodes now. No. I think 5 episodes. Because the first, 2 weeks ago when the show dropped, they dropped 3 episodes. They're doing the same thing with they did with The Boys, which I think is genius because they're giving you 3 episodes to binge. Like, you want a taste? Oh, we'll give you more than a taste. We'll give you more than a sampler. This ain't no Costco shit sampler. We'll give you the full fucking meal for free. And then you're going to come back for more. So I easily binged those first 3 episodes, and I got sucked into it. I'm so into it. I still have to watch the 5th episode, the newest one, but it's really great. It's fantastic, and I mentioned on that episode, the last episode, that I'm really digging it. The animation, the voice cast, the music is really well done.
They're 30 minutes apiece.
Yes, I think it could be a little bit more.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then also, like, at the very end of each episode, they have like a quick scene, like basically leading into the next episode. So it gets you like really like excited and looking forward to that next episode. Season 1, episode 1. It's not showing me the runtimes here. Huh, interesting. But yeah, there are 5 episodes right now, and it is rated R to the highest level because, man, it is bloody and violent, but really fantastic. You've got Stephen Yeun as Mark Grayson, who's our main character, and then J.K. Simmons is his father. Sandra Oh is his mother. You've also got Zazie Beetz. You can get back on it already. So last thing I was talking about was Invincible. Yeah, it's got a stacked cast. I'm really enjoying it.
So my question is it violent? Because it looked pretty violent.
It is violent. It is violent. It is bloody. But apart from that, it's got a great story.
Okay.
It's got a great story. Yeah, and it's just very well done. I'm really enjoying it. So yeah, it's
check it
really
out.
Yeah, you got to check it out. I mean, it's definitely worth checking out. So
well, I was just telling Jester I haven't got around to it yet because we're in the middle of WrestleMania week, so it's like virtually impossible to do.
Yeah, and then I think I mentioned it on the last episode that Seth Rogen is working on a live action version film of this, but now that we're so spoiled with a series, the series style of storytelling, I would prefer seeing a live action, adaptation in a series as opposed to a film, unless they're gonna do the film and they're gonna do it like at least 2.5 hours, and then they're gonna continue it with like sequels. And like the way that's presented here, it's like really well done. So it's gonna be the live action version will definitely have a lot to live up to, as far as how it's being done. And I haven't even read the graphic novel, the comic book itself. But when you hear Kuya talking about it,
yeah, he makes me want to get the damn thing.
Yeah. Yep. Alrighty. We're gonna talk about some news. So of course, with the Snyder Cut released, everyone thought, even last year when Ray Fisher started talking about, the mistreatment, a lot of people were like, he's just crying and whining, all that shit. But of course, when everyone got a glimpse of his performance and what he was really making a big fuss about, now people realize that he really got gypped from that performance and what he put in. And I'm really glad that a lot of people, especially at first, like I'm seeing a lot more people who are like now understanding the big deal of the Snyder Cut and the controversy that it's been through, and why it really deserves people's attention, as opposed to the Whedon cut, which is canon, still can't, like, really, who are we? Quit dicking around, Warner Brothers. Like, come on, you serious? So Ray Fisher again has more to say, and it came out on Hollywood Reporter, and it actually makes sense that ever since he started talking, that he would release stuff, and it's like marketing, basically. You're releasing, and then of course now we also have Chris Terrio, the screenwriter for Batman v Superman and Justice League. He just also recently came out. He has his own article that came out, and the writer of that piece even tweeted and said, to put it lightly, essentially she said, like, Warner Brothers did not want me to write this. So that is very telling, and that tells you a lot on the goings behind the scenes of Warner Brothers. There's a lot that they don't want out there that's been going on, that they're just like, let's sweep it under the rug, but too late. So Ray Fisher, so this is from HollywoodReporter.com. Ray Fisher opens up about Justice League, Joss Whedon, and Warner's, and quote, he says, "I don't believe some of these people are fit for leadership." So this was written by Kim Masters, and she was the one who tweeted and basically said, like, Warner Brothers did not want me to write this, but she did. And as any good journalist with integrity should do their job, despite going against the tide and going with what's cool or popular, you go with your gut and you tell the truth of the story. So you write the shit out of it. So it says here, over the past year, the actor has assailed the filmmaker and studio in harsh but cryptic tweets for what he says was racist and inappropriate conduct. Quote, I'm not so in debt to Hollywood that I haven't been willing to put myself out there. So now it says Ray Fisher is ready to talk. Ever since June 2020, when he fired off a tweet accusing Joss Whedon of, quote, gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable, end quote, conduct on the set of Justice League, the 33-year-old actor has used social media and a series of interviews to lob serious allegations of racist behavior and a cover-up at Warner Brothers. So lots of stuff going on. And it also came out that Joss Whedon even threatened Gal Gadot's career back in 2017 when they were doing the reshoots for Justice League. He basically locked her in a room and threatened her career and told her, like, I can make this look bad or I can make this look okay or whatever. Like, and she subtly mentioned, Gal Gadot subtly mentioned that she had an issue with Joss Whedon, and she brought it up to the studio, and the studio took care of it. So, of course, for Gal Gadot, that came, in a sense, easy, because she was a big star. She had the upcoming Wonder Woman film. But for Ray Fisher, you know, an up-and-coming actor, they weren't really giving him much attention until now. So, yeah, the piece, there's a lot here on the Hollywood Reporter, but it just goes to show that this is far from over, and that he says here he still wants an apology from basically the studio heads.
That's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Right. So let me see here. I'm scanning through it.
All three of us will win the lotto before he gets an apology from any studio head whatsoever.
Right. And then it's also revealed that Cyborg, the character of Cyborg, was always a part of that Flash spin-off film, that Flash solo film. And, you know, they basically cut out that role because of what he's been doing in as far as speaking out. So yeah, it's really fascinating that, you know, but I'm really proud of him that he's sticking to his guns. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, but it just shows how rotten and, you know, how crazy things have been going on behind the scenes, and that there's so much more to, you know, what we think has been going on. So yeah, and Joss Whedon has his new show, The Nevers, which will be premiering on HBO tomorrow on Sunday. But he did leave. He left that show in the middle of production. So who knows if we're gonna see that series continue. Oh yeah, so here I'm looking at, so it says here, the biggest clash, sources say, came when Whedon pushed Gal Gadot to record lines she didn't like, threatened to harm Gadot's career, and disparaged Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins. While Fisher declines to discuss any of what transpired with Gadot, a witness on the production who later spoke to investigators says that after one clash, quote, Joss was bragging that he's had it out with Gal. He told her he's a writer and she's going to shut up and say the lines, and he can make her look incredibly stupid in this movie, end quote. So
mature.
What was that?
I'm just saying, like, wow, real mature, dude. Like, you get a little bit of power and your ego goes through the roof, and you're just going to be an absolute tool to everybody. Like,
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. So
It's just stupid behavior.
Yeah, exactly. And something you'll never hear from the likes of Zack Snyder. It says here, a knowledgeable source says Gadot and Jenkins went to battle, culminating in a meeting with then Warner's chairman Kevin Tsuchihara. Asked for comment, Gadot says in a statement, quote, "I had my issues with Whedon and Warner Brothers handled it in a timely manner." And then, of course, 3 months after Justice League hit theaters, Whedon exited Warner's Batgirl project because he was supposed to write and direct a Batgirl solo film. And then, of course, he said, quote, "Batgirl is such an exciting project and Warner's DC such collaborative and supportive partners that it took me months to realize I really didn't have a story." I'm sorry. This guy is able to write, from as far as what I can see, from looking at his career, and to not have a story for Batgirl, or at least take an inspiration from the years and years of Batgirl stories in the comic books. Come on, that's a load of bull, obviously. So, and then another thing that came out from this article is that even Warner Brothers executives were thinking that Zack Snyder was using Ray Fisher to get to the Snyder Cut. There's like a conspiracy that like Snyder is like using him, and I'm like, wow, really? Are we not seeing the hashtags that fans have like, been fighting for? So, and then there's also this thing that came out.
Can we just grow up?
Seriously.
Like,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, it's crazy.
This
It
is
is crazy.
pathetic.
And then, of course, there's also this thing that came out. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name right. I may butcher it. Regé Jean Page, who is a breakout star of Bridgerton, which is a series on Netflix. He auditioned for the role of Superman's grandfather for the show Krypton. But Jeff Johns, who was overseeing the project, said Superman could not have a black grandfather. The creators also wanted to make one superhero character, Adam Strange, gay or bisexual, but sources say Johns vetoed the idea. And then it says here, quote, "Jeff celebrates and supports LGBTQ characters, including Batwoman, who in 2006 was reintroduced as LGBTQ in a comic book series co-written by Johns," says Johns' rep in an email. Johns also pitched Warner's on developing a television show around the first LGBTQ lead DC superhero television series, which of course is Batwoman. And then he adds, as for the role of Superman's grandfather, the rep says, Johns believed fans expected the character to look like a young Henry Cavill. By the way, everyone's been waiting for more of Henry Cavill Superman, but, we've heard nothing. And then now you're going to say, oh, fans are going to think that it should look like a young Henry Cavill. Like, come on. Enough with this bullshit. All right, moving on. The next up, so Godzilla versus Kong seems to be the biggest hit to date of the pandemic. This is from Variety.com. Godzilla versus Kong is a box office and HBO Max hit. So the opening weekend at the box office racked up $48.5 million in its first 5 days in theaters. So that was really huge, the biggest one to date. And the fact that also a lot of people watched it on HBO Max. And of course, for $15 a month, the fact that you're able to see a brand new movie day and date, at the convenience of your own home, and you can pause the movie whenever you want to. You don't have to deal with annoying people who are texting in a movie, which I don't know why you'd be texting in the middle of a movie with your bat signal bright ass screen illuminating and shining and blinding other viewers, like, wow. But yeah, and if we look back at not too long ago, towards the end of 2020, before when Warner Brothers and HBO Max and AT&T did the huge announcement that we're going to stream day and date brand new movies to HBO Max in 2021, with no additional charge. A lot of people were like, this is the death of movie theaters as we know it. The movie industry is going down the drain. It's going to go extinct. Well, it doesn't look that way because obviously people have missed the communal experience of going to a movie theater and enjoying a movie on a much larger screen than a 65 or 70 inch, or whatever screen they have at home. Because there's just nothing like, seeing a movie at the movie theater. So that's good. And then along with this, Warner Brothers did announce for 2022 their entire 2022 film slate with films such as the Batman will be exclusively in theaters, and it will not stream to HBO Max. And part of that reasoning and that change in decision, of course, and they always said that the 2022 film slate would be, up in the air. That's subject to change. Part of that, I think, is the reasoning is because now you're seeing a lot of the population is getting, vaccinated, and a lot of people are now willing to go to the movie theater, especially if they're vaccinated. They feel much, more confident and safer. So people are going back to the movie theater.
Well, HBO also, not for nothing, when everybody, and that's why I never understood the temper tantrum. HBO and Warner Brothers also said in the announcement, this is the slate for this year. This is how we're doing it this year.
Right.
They didn't say for the next 20 or 10, like, and everybody, it's the death of, like, stop. They didn't say that, and now it's proving what I was trying to say, that this is what we're doing right now. This is what we need to do while we get the vaccinations and everyone can get the cure, because that's what we want. Not just your TT and your Mima, and we all want to get the cure. Then we can all start piling back in there. That's why they had to do this. And now we see with the 2020 slate, it's going exclusively back to theaters, because their hope is we've all gotten vaccinated, everything's at least semi back to normal, and we can start going back there. That's why I never understood the temper tantrum that was thrown.
Right.
I did not get that when that was announced, why everybody was flipping tables and kicking down doors and kicking and screaming. Like, I didn't understand that.
Let's not forget Christopher Nolan.
And Martin Scorsese,
yeah,
and Coppola, all throwing the big three, all throwing their big giant temper tantrums, and each one of them, I loved how each one of them wanted to one up each other. Yeah. Christopher Nolan started off light, then Martin Scorsese kind of kicked it harder, and then Coppola just said, "You're both pussies. They're garbage." Yeah. So I just like how that worked out. And now here we are. Look where we're at now.
Yeah, I remember Nolan's statement was like, last night, a lot of the industry's best filmmakers and actors went to bed working for the best studio in Hollywood and woke up this morning to such tragic news or something like that. But hey,
he did it a passive aggressive way,
Yeah.
That's Nolan's way, and I expect that. Not Scorsese and Coppola, though. They was a flat out, you're garbage. That's the way we feel about you.
Right. But hey, I'll give it to Nolan. When theaters reopened in LA a few weeks ago, he was one of the first people in line to buy tickets at a movie theater.
But his money where his mouth was, so.
Yeah. And of course, finding out much later that he had a huge role in getting to encourage Zack Snyder to do the Snyder Cut and finish it. Like that was really cool. So some other movies that have shifted. So now, of course, we're seeing a lot of shifting going on as far as release dates. Some are getting moved up earlier. Some are films are getting pushed back. So some of them, of course, we've got here. This is from Fandom. The Forever Purge. I didn't even know we were getting another Purge film.
Yes.
July 2nd, 2021. And then, of course, July 9 is the big one, Black Widow, which now is going to be released in theaters and, you guessed it, Disney Premier Access for an additional $30. Disney, the Mouse House wants the Mouse House wants your hard-earned dollars. And I can see people definitely plunking down to $30 if you have a family of 3 to 4 or more. The $30 is a great deal because you're definitely saving more money than going to a movie theater. You know,
I don't like it. I don't like it though. I don't like it. I don't want it.
I mean, and then they also dropped a brand new trailer, which like looks epic and like so personal. My daughters are strong, my strongest ever. So that was my terrible impression of the Red Guardian. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see it, and I'm hoping that. So right now, we didn't get to do a private screening for Godzilla versus Kong, but I'm thinking now we're gonna be able to do one for Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So, and some people have expressed that they wanted to join us as well, and we're like, yeah, you know,
get over here.
We're definitely up for that. So, Mortal Kombat, of course, got moved to April 23, a week from its original release date, because when Warner Brothers saw Godzilla versus Kong making all the MonsterVerse money, they're like, let's move Mortal Kombat a week after, which actually isn't too bad, because when the announcement was made, some people were like whining and crying. I'm like, it's a fucking week. We've been in the pandemic for over a year. If you can deal with over a year, you can wait a week. Like, holy shit, dude. Calm down. So, yeah, Black Widow is the big one that I'm sure if we're seeing Godzilla versus Kong make 48.5 million buckaroos, there's a good chance by July, with increased capacity by then, middle of the summer, we're probably going to see Black Widow smash that record without a doubt. That's July 9. And Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe movie, Snake Eyes got moved up to July 23rd, which got me really excited, because I was thinking we weren't going to see this till like fall, like around October of this year. So that got moved up to July 23rd. Jackass 4 is October 22nd, 2021. And then Top Gun Maverick, November 19, 2021. And then here we go. Mission Impossible 7. What I sleep with every night. The future of this industry.
I almost don't want to watch that movie because of that incident, dude. I swear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That dude.
The whole time we're going to be watching it, we'll be like, and this is where the part where he blew up.
Not only that, but it's like, oh, I didn't need to watch this. You know what I mean? I could have slept tonight. Unlike him.
So Mission Impossible 7 is May 27, 2022. Dungeons and Dragons, March 3, 2023. Untitled Star Trek film, which I'm hoping will be like a Quentin Tarantino film.
Not gonna happen.
June 9, 2023. Mission Impossible 8, July 7, 2023. And then Imaginary Friends, which has Ryan Reynolds and John Krasinski, November 17, 2023. Of course, there's other movies here that was not included, but these are the ones that like shifted in release dates so far. I'm sure by the next episode, we're probably going to see a few other films move, as far as, and it's normal. I mean, especially now, it makes sense. But I'm glad that like Snake Eyes has moved up. Like, give me that shit. I just hope like we get the toys before the movie as well, because like, holy shit, I'm excited for some new G.I. Joe action.
Shit, I'm glad we're getting that Forever Purge, because they were talking about dropping it all together there for a while. So
yeah, I had no idea we were getting another one.
We need to close the book on this this series. They left it hanging. They left it hanging too high out there. We need to close the book. So
yeah, yep. So that's some of the release dates. Oh, and next up from the HollywoodReporter.com, we've got one of your guys' favorite directors, the director of the cult smash hit, The Last Jedi, Rian Johnson. So Rian Johnson, I don't even know if we're going to get his Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, good.
Because at this point, after this deal, he can just do whatever now, and he's just gonna swim like Scrooge McDuck in that big swimming pool vault of money. The Knives Out sequels, the Who Done It, behind Netflix's $469 million power play. So Knives Out 2 and 3, Netflix landed a deal to secure those for $469 million for the two sequels. Now, granted, Rian Johnson doesn't keep all of that money, but it's reported that he's going to land around $100 million. I'm not sure for both films, possibly for both films. So this is written by Boris Kitt. So we are going to be getting Daniel Craig back as what's his character's name? Trying to see here.
Dude, what do people see in those movies?
So
what do they see in Knives Out specifically that like it made them rave? Like I get Daniel Craig was great in that. I enjoyed him too, but
so the Knives Out film, the first one, was made for $40 million, and it grossed over $300 million at the domestic box office. So that's one of the biggest things about it, that okay. Netflix was like, we love money, we love eyeballs too. Like, and the fact that you know that a movie of that small budget, relatively small budget, 40 million, grossed over that much. They knew that he wrote. I think he wrote and directed the first Knives Out. So they're thinking like, hey, we got to get this guy to make those sequels.
But it was okay. Like, I don't need a Netflix.
I loved it. I wish I saw it in the theater, but I loved it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was all right. I don't know. For me, it was all right. I just was like, it's not the director. Like, I really, like I said, like I liked Looper all the way until the end. Like, Looper was such a cool movie, and then at the end, I was like, hey, remember this like thing we mentioned at the beginning of the movie? Yeah, that's really important right now. Like, it's so stupid. Like, I hate the way he writes like that. It's so annoying. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna go on a tangent. I don't need to go on a tangent on Ryan, but yeah, I just don't get the hype over Knives Out. I don't. It's just kind of weird. But
yeah, so
whatever.
It says here. Oh, so I stand corrected. The film grossed $311 million globally, not domestically, but globally. But
okay, I was about ready to say.
Yeah, but either way, I mean, 300 million globally is still huge and nothing to scoff at. So
it's nothing to scoff at, but it's nothing to go recklessly spending. And this is the problem with them, because that's great, but this is why we continue to see our rates rise all the time, because of their reckless spending. And this is the reckless spending I'm talking about. I didn't like Knives Out, but it's not because I don't like Rian Johnson. I actually think when he's wrangled in, he's very talented. This isn't it. You just said it yourself, domestically. That's great. Or internationally. That's great. That's great. For a $40 million budget, that's great. But when we're talking about raising rates all the time for reckless spending, your reckless spending better be paying off more than just 316 internationally. You better be hitting them ballpark numbers out of the fucking park with ballpark IPs. And you want to know who's doing? We don't need to go down the road. These other streaming services, they may not be the top of the hill right now, but what you're doing, Netflix, is you're helping them get right up to you to where they can knock you off the hill. Don't be Blockbuster. Don't do it, because you're following similar patterns that Blockbuster did that put them out of business. You can't do this kind of shit during the streaming wars, because guys like HBO Max and Amazon and Hulu and Disney, they're not going to put up with it. They're not just going to sit on the sideline and go, ho hum. Like, a perfect example is Apple. No one's talking about them in the streaming war, but when they get content, they're going for the quality that they know will bring viewers there. Like, for example, the Foundation. Foundation is going to bring a huge swarm of nerds who are already in the Apple nerddom and bring a lot of people there to bring more revenue and money there. When you talk about bringing revenue to your streaming service, the best you got is two sequels to Knives Out. Really? That's the game
hold up, hold up. There's more, but wait, there's more.
Okay, let's hear more of the
This is,
average middle of the road.
So this is from Variety.com. Sony Pictures moves their movie output deal from Stars to Netflix in rich pact. So this is written by Matt Donnelly and Cynthia Littleton. So Netflix has emerged the winner of a nearly 2-year auction for the exclusive U.S. rights to stream Sony Pictures theatrical releases in the first pay TV window, starting with the studio's 2022 slate. So
the way that was presented, the winner of that, like, here's your prize pig at the fair, ladies and gentlemen, that you paid.
So it says here
I'm sorry.
You're good. It says here, starting with next year's slate, all movies from the various film banners on the Culver City lot, including Columbia Pictures, Sony Pictures Classics, Screen Gems, and TriStar Pictures, will stream exclusively to Netflix after their theatrical and home entertainment releases. That promises to bring to Netflix future installments of the Spider-Man, Venom, and Jumanji franchises, among others. The Pay One window usually begins about 9 months after a film's theatrical release, although that timetable may have been sped up for Netflix over the course of the pandemic. Sony has sold multiple slate titles to Netflix outright, including Kevin Hart's Fatherhood and the animated films The Mitchells versus the Machines, which actually looks really good. My son, whenever he's watching a YouTube video, when an ad pops up, that's the ad for the trailer for that, The Mitchells versus the Machines, and that actually looks like a good film. And Wish Dragon, which I've never heard of. Sony Pictures is a great partner, and we are thrilled to expand our relationship through this forward-thinking agreement. So what I find interesting here is that we're never going to get any of Tom Holland's Spider-Man films on Disney Plus. It's going to Netflix, which for Netflix is like a big fuck you, Disney. We're getting your Spider-Man, which I think is interesting, because as much as, you know, Spider-Man is in the MCU, you're just not going to see those individual Spider-Man films on the Disney Plus streaming service, which I thought was quite wild. The fact that they didn't secure that or do something about it, at least, you know. But I guess they could care less, because Spider-Man's in Civil War, Spider-Man's in Infinity War and Endgame. The fuck do we care about those Sony films?
Exactly. They're peanuts and it's child's play.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for the money to burn out until where they can go, okay, now we're going to buy your ass.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
And then, of course, we've got Indiana Jones. We got an update yesterday. This is from Lucasfilm and their official social media channels, with a picture of course, Harrison Ford and Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who has joined the cast alongside Harrison Ford in the 5th installment of the iconic franchise. I'm not sure why they're not saying it's the 5th and last installment.
Oh, Fleabag.
Unless they're planning a 6th, film, which I don't know is in the cards right now.
From beyond the grave at that point, because you'll be lucky to get him through this one.
Right.
Like, seriously, are we what's next? Clint Eastwood and Dirty Harry #8, at 90. Like, stop with these old relics. Stop. We get it. Like, okay, so I'm not gonna go on a rant. I wanted to ask a question. What's your take on it, Jester? Because I've always wondered, like, how do you feel about Indiana Jones as a whole, and what do you think about old man Harrison Ford being dug out of his walker to come back for another franchise movie, just like they did with The Force Awakens? Because once again, we're digging the talcum powder. and the depends out just to get this guy for, because it's for the name at this point. Let's just be honest. So what's your opinion, Jester? What's your opinion?
My opinion is Indiana Jones will forever be great movies. Fourth
I
one,
agree.
I know people gave it a lot of heat, and the ending was just, old man, like dumb stuff. But I still liked it a little. I'm not gonna lie. But I think we should just let it go. Just let it be free. Let it live in infamy, right? Let it live in this wonderful thing. Like in my having the hard copies, I'm good. I don't need any more. I don't even want a remake, to be honest. I don't want any of that. Just for crying out loud, just come out with some other treasure hunter guy that likes to do the same stuff. Leave Indiana Jones alone, man. It's over. He's old, and I don't want a fifth one. I don't want a fifth one where he's got his cane out and he's limping over to the Nazi, like, oh, you better watch out, kapow kind of thing. I don't need that. Like, as much as I like Harrison Ford, man, I think he's great. I'd like to see him in more movies, but not more movies where he has to be super physical, because it comes to a point where it's hard to watch. So
Yeah, lovable grandpa. That'll be suitable.
dude, I'd be fine where he's president again. Another Air Force One, maybe. I'm down. You know what I mean? But like Indiana Jones, nah, man.
Here's a twist. Maybe you put him in a movie where he's a Nazi. He's a former soldier,
Yeah, who knows, man? You could
a remake to Apt Pupil,
Yeah, I mean, you could anything but Indiana Jones. Like, it's too late. Like, if they did another one after the fourth one, right afterwards, instead of waiting until he has a heart attack, then maybe. But now it's too late, dude. Like, their time is over. You know what I mean? Like,
that was my hope when they announced that they were making Indiana Jones 4. I was hoping that George Lucas and Spielberg would have taken the approach that Lucas did with the Star Wars prequels. We're like, okay, we're doing episode 1, 2, and 3. Like, when they did 4, like, okay, we're gonna do Indiana Jones 4, 5, and 6. Like, it could have happened. Like, had they done it that way. I'm still looking forward to it. It's just been in development hell for the longest time.
As it should be.
The fact that Spielberg is not directing this
that's another problem.
Yeah, that's what gets me, because Spielberg even said Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones, and there will never be another Indiana Jones so long as Harrison Ford lives. And I don't know why I'm laughing, but there was even like years ago, there was like when Chris Pratt, when his star started shining high and bright after Guardians, they were like, oh, a lot of people were photoshopping Chris Pratt as a younger Indiana Jones. And I'm like, I can see it. I could see that. But for me personally, as long as Harrison Ford is still alive, he should play Indiana Jones. I really liked the fourth film. I liked that they introduced Shia LaBeouf until, of course, he started opening his big fucking mouth after. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? You just work with Spielberg and Harrison Ford, and you're gonna say all this shit? And that, of course, that ruined his chances. I mean, they could have instantly continued the story with his character, and I would have had a problem with it. But yeah, what I find interesting here is that Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who played L337 in the Solo spin-off film and has been integrated as the Millennium Falcon computer, is now going to be with Han Solo. Like, that's pretty fucking awesome. Like, the fact that I realized that, I was like, wow.
And that's the only thing that intrigues me is her, because she's actually very talented as a writer.
Yep.
Because Killing Eve is a really, really good show that she, if I'm not mistaken, created and writes. She's doing work on the new Bond that a lot of people aren't happy with, but we haven't.
She is on the new Bond film?
Yes, because that's the big reason why they're doing a lot of the pushing, is because Daniel Craig likes the work she does, and he specifically wanted her on there, and she got on board. And a lot of the controversial things that are coming out are from her mind, and that's why a lot of people are not liking her and not liking where the direction is going, because the secret, and like people don't want to spill the tea, sis, but I will, because I've been reading about it and I've been following her because, like I said, she's talented. She's making a lot of the changes that she wants changed in Bond that the Broccoli's and everybody else are trying to resist. So
Fascinating.
yeah, so when you really look into it, you find that it is a fascinating tale. So that intrigues me. It's just like we just discussed. At this point, it becomes a Black Widow scenario. Do I really give a fuck about another Indiana Jones at this point?
Not really.
Do I really care?
Especially
That's
without
the question.
Spielberg. Without
Yeah,
Spielberg,
exactly.
man,
With no Spielberg on
the
top of that.
feel, like you can have whoever, like you can have the most talented person write and direct that movie, but it will never have the feel that Spielberg brought to those movies. It will never have that feel again. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter. But I don't know.
Exactly, and that's another problem I have. Like, so you threw Spielberg out too.
Yeah.
Why do I care once again?
Oh well, we'll get what we get, and I'm sure
I
I'll
know.
watch
We'll
it.
see. We'll see.
And
Even if it even gets off the ground, because we're talking about it, and yeah, they're saying this, that, and the other. Let's see it.
yeah, I
Get
mean,
it done before he kicks the bucket. By the way, please. I don't
yeah,
want to be nasty and try and be funny, but please get it done, because we don't know, with especially in the COVID timeline, and after what we saw with DMX. Granted, a lot of what happened, the future is not guaranteed. So let's get this done before he kicks the bucket. Otherwise, it really won't matter, because you won't have Spielberg and you won't have Ford, and then we can just all say, fuck it.
So part of that announcement also was John Williams is returning to score the film. And John Williams is in his 90s.
Exactly. He ain't getting any younger either.
And
So
I'm surprised that that guy is still working. So speaking of Bond real quick, I wish Kuya was here to hear this, but I'm sure he will listen to this episode and he will enjoy this part. So Hans Zimmer, the great Hans Zimmer, who we love in the DC films, specifically for the Snyder films, he posted on Instagram. This was a few posts back, or March 15, not too long ago. So Hans Zimmer congratulated the one and only Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas for making history and winning a Grammy for their song on the new James Bond film for No Time to Die. And they made history because the film has not even been out yet, and yet they won a fucking Grammy. Yeah.
How does she feel about it? How do you feel? How do you feel?
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
That's a taste of the unboxing, you know?
There you go. So yeah, so Hans Zimmer wrote here, the only way I get to see my friends these days is if they win at the Grammys. Major congratulations to Billie Eilish and Phineas on No Time to Die's win. You also made history since Bond 25 hasn't been released yet. It was a dream to work with both of you and Johnny Margram on this song. So Hans Zimmer also worked on the song. But awesome. Billie Eilish and her brother Phineas won a Grammy for a song in a film that has not even been released yet. So
yeah, and it probably never will at this rate. Like,
oh, you know, they want to release that film.
Oh, I know, but
I think, was it Amazon, or I can remember we talked about it a few episodes back. Amazon, I think, or I forgot what studio, or no, MGM wanted to sell the rights to stream Bond 25, No Time to Die, for $650 million. Like, wow, that's a lot of cash.
Yeah, but to me that seems like chump change for Bond.
Right, that's true. That's true. They were basically like, hey, we want $650 million now. You get to stream this tomorrow.
Oh yeah, because they are in a heap of hurt with the finances too. So I could see that.
Right. Yeah. So very interesting.
Like, Bond is literally the only thing keeping them afloat at this point.
Right. Yep. And then another thing I wanted to talk about since Jester is here, was a few weeks ago the cast announcement for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So, of course, we've known Ewan McGregor's coming back, of course, and Hayden Christensen, which was huge, a huge announcement, and the rematch, as Kathleen Kennedy said in that Disney Investor Day. So we've also got the cast. It also includes Joel Edgerton as Uncle Owen, and Bonnie Peace. Bonnie Peace is Aunt Beru, who was also in that documentary about what was the documentary about the one where Allison Mack was involved with?
Oh, the Nexium
yes.
cult.
So Bonnie Peace was involved in that. Aunt Beru. Yeah, because I was watching.
Sorry.
I was watching one of the episodes, and I dozed off, and I woke up, and I saw her, and I was like, "Holy shit! What's Aunt Beru doing here?" And she got suckered into it.
I'm Brandon, bitches.
So other cast members joining are Kumail Nanjiani, Indira Varma from Game of Thrones, Rupert Friend, O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Hell yeah.
Sung Kang from also known as Han from the Fast and Furious films, Simone Kessel, and Benny Safdie, one of the Safdie brothers. So I'm gonna be so surprised when Adam Sandler is gonna be walking in. He's like in a tattoo in the cantina, and Adam Sandler's playing like one of the aliens there or something. Like, holy shit,
dude! Please don't.
Or he's gonna be like, he's gonna be betting a lot on one of the games or like one of the.
He's gonna come up. Yeah. Would you like to buy some gifts?
Oh
buy
my
some
god!
death sticks?
Back to school to prove to my father that I'm not a fool.
Oh my gosh, dude! Please no.
Or he's just gonna be the background when Obi-Wan and Anakin show up, or when Anakin have the rematch, and he's just gonna be like, "I'm gonna come."
Oh no.
But hey, I like what's that? Uncut Gems. I think it's a fascinating film. I really like that one.
I don't know which I feel is more overrated, that movie or The King of Staten Island. The King of Staten Island for sure.
I still need to watch The King of Staten
Island. Because at the
good.
very least, I understood what Adam was trying to do with Uncut Gems. With the other one, it just felt like an entitled fuck schmuck pussy piece of shit. So, but hey, Bill Burr saved it, so you know.
He was great in that, man.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
He really was. But no, that cast for Obi-Wan, it sounds great, man. I'm excited. It's gonna be good. I'm excited for that.
Yeah,
I like that they're bringing back Joel and that's the same girl from episode 3, right? She was in the end of episode 3 as well, right?
And 2, yeah, Bonnie Peace.
Yeah. So
if I may ask real quick, not to interrupt, for those of us that aren't very familiar with the Space Wizard lore, at what point in the timeline does this take place in the Star Wars Space Wizard timeline? So from episode 3 to what?
Yeah, between 3 and 4. Between episode 3 and 4, yeah.
It's a couple years after, right?
Well, obviously, because we got young Aunt Beru and Uncle Fuck Buck Owen, like. So.
Well, we're probably gonna be seeing a young Luke Skywalker as a kid as well.
Yeah,
because the word is this may be some of the things going around is this may be taking place around 10 years before episode 4.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
So, because if I'm not mistaken, Luke was around 18 in episode 4. Okay. So if this is taking place around 10 years, then he'll be around 8 years old, something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like what?
8 years old, running around. Now I get some power converters.
That's what's gonna be a motivator, and I just shit my huggies.
But yeah, it'll be really interesting and fascinating to see this show unfold. This is supposed to start filming any day now, like this month, if I'm not mistaken. And there was a recent photograph of Ewan McGregor because he also likes motorcycles, and he did like a I think was it an Apple series or some, I forgot which series or which streaming service, where he drove from South America all the way up to North America. He did like a cross country on electric bikes, I think. I don't know if
I heard about that. That's
Yeah,
right.
it's with his buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so he had a recent photograph of him and like some of his biker buddies where he's got the Obi-Wan look with the beard, everything, the facial hair. So
on top of that, he's in shape too now because of that kind of activity.
Right.
That guy's always been in shape, man. He looks like he has.
I know.
Yeah,
he's in better shape than all of us, and he's older than all of us. Like,
Dude,
shit.
yeah, it's impressive how well that guy looks.
Yeah, I'm really excited as far as Hayden Christensen's involvement in this. Of course, a lot of, because Kathleen Kennedy said it's going to be the rematch of the century. So when she says that, obviously Darth Vader will be in his armor here. It's obviously after episode 3. So we're going to see Darth Vader at some point in this series fight Obi-Wan Kenobi. But I'm curious because they could have gotten the same guy that they did for Rogue One, that played Vader at the end of Rogue One, and you can still get James Earl Jones to provide the voice. You don't need Hayden Christensen, but then you're not going to get Hayden Christensen if you're not going to show his face, or at least parts of it. So I'm really fascinated as to what extent we're going to get, whether we're going to get any flashbacks from the Clone Wars. And holy shit, if they do a flashback of the Clone Wars and we see Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, fuck me.
I'm creaming my pants, dude.
Yeah.
There's no way I'll last.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, Mike and me will just do it simultaneously.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're gonna need a whole new shipment of Buddy Lee dungarees for you two.
Oh, 100%, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna need my Space Wizards Buddy Lee dungarees.
That's great.
Oh boy, yeah, this show, man. Yeah, it's kind of, because we're taking a break right now from Star Wars, of course, but not too long, because on May 4, we're going to be getting the Bad Batch, the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch, aka the Clone Wars Season 8.
Yeah, Season 8, dude. This will just call it that.
Yeah.
This is a cartoon?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Animated series.
He's losing it. Like, he's oh hell nah.
Hey, the Clone Wars, the Clone Wars series, that's just
hey, I'm glad you guys are getting some part of the pumpkin patch or whatever. That's great. Yeah.
So I also want to bring up Disney Plus debuted the Star Wars Vintage Collection. I thought it was fascinating, and how they named it the Vintage Collection has arrived on Disney Plus. So this is as of April 1st. So they included some vintage series over there. So it's the Caravan of Courage, which is an Ewok film, basically. And then Ewoks, The Battle for Endor. And then there's also a vintage cartoon segment, the story of the faithful Wookiee.
So that's why you put the air quotes up. Okay, I'm seeing it now.
Yeah.
God.
The Ewoks animated series, which I actually remember seeing, and I remember the theme song going something along like where they Ewoks.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that tells you how good that theme song was, because I can still remember it. And then the one that I got really excited about is the Clone Wars 2D micro series, Volume 1 and 2. I don't know for the
watched it again.
Why I never bought the DVDs when they were released. So for those that are not familiar with the 2D micro series, so leading up to the release of what was then the last and final Star Wars film, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Lucasfilm made these Clone Wars micro series, which was basically like 5-minute episodes taking place around the galaxy and focusing on different characters like Yoda, Mace Windu, Anakin, and Obi-Wan. And then they were basically 5-minute episodes for the first volume. And then volume 2 was actually much longer episodes than just 5-minute episodes. And then when you watch them all together, like I think they had that feature on the DVD where you could watch it all together, and it's just like a grand epic story.
It's volume 1 and volume 2. That's the DVDs they released, and then they have them the same way in here. So it's volume 1 and volume 2.
Yeah. So this was leading up to episode 3, after episode 2, way before the 2008 Clone Wars supervised by Dave Filoni. So, we got to see the in-between happenings of Anakin from episode 2 to episode 3, where he was inducted into the as a Jedi Knight, and then he fought Asajj Ventress. We were first introduced to General Grievous. Like Boba Fett, we were first introduced to General Grievous as a cartoon character first. Before, he started coughing like George Lucas in Revenge of the Sith. Because for those of you that may not know, General Grievous coughing sound effects in Revenge of the Sith is actually George Lucas coughing when he had like a cold or like asthma or something, or I think even pneumonia. I don't know. I can't even remember. But that's his cough basically in the film. But yeah, and there's some great moments here in the series, so it's worth checking out if you've got Disney Plus. Whether you've seen the Dave Filoni Clone Wars animated series or not, it's worth checking out. It's an easy binge. It's way shorter, and it's done by Genndy Tartakovsky, who is famous for Samurai Jack, and I'm sure many other shows I can't remember off the top of my head. But I really like that style. They had action figures, which I never got. Now I want to get them. And
I want to get the ARC Troopers, man.
Yeah, we were first introduced to the ARC Troopers in that in the 2D micro series. So lots of great stuff. So yeah, it's worth checking out. So check it out, and it's an easy binge. So and then we even got characters like Dirge, who never made it to live action, but was in the micro series and the comic books. So and then we got we got Obi-Wan in a clone trooper armor with his Jedi Knight like gear, which was awesome. And then there's like some jousting on speeder bikes, like some great space battles, like really cool stuff.
Yeah, it was fun.
Worth checking out. So anything else you guys want to mention or discuss? Because that's about it. That's all I have.
I'm good, man. Like I said, I binged the micro series already because it's been so long since I've seen that. The last time I saw him, it was on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
So
and then because they released the DVDs for those, and for whatever reason, I never got the DVDs. And then they've been out of print. Yep. And when Disney, of course, acquired Lucasfilm, they never re-released those DVDs. So I think they're actually pretty pricey on the secondary market.
Oh yeah.
I don't know now if they dropped in price because now it's available on Disney Plus. But there's still something about owning that physical media.
Yeah, let me check. I'm curious now. I'm gonna check how much they are. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's call the micro series, right?
Pinhead, anything you want to talk about, discuss?
It's been a busy week. It's WrestleMania weekend. I'll get my full thoughts about the week here pretty soon. I don't know how I'm going to do it. We're going to do an unboxing here pretty soon. I think I'm going to be recording that tonight, and I'll have it uploaded. I know that I haven't been uploading on my socials, especially YouTube lately, but it's been a very hectic week, especially those of you in the know. This has been a very busy week for wrestling fans. Plus, we got jobs on the side that we need to go to. But I will be recording an unboxing extravaganza tonight, and I will be posted very soon. By no later than tomorrow afternoon. So it'll be out before this is up. So. Oh, and I would like to say, what I am watching, and you can get a free trial of it. It's only 7 days, but you can watch it and then kick your free trial out before they charge you on Discovery Plus. How original, you know, we got another plus on our hands. There's a documentary about Onision. For those of you who don't know the YouTuber Onision, it is fascinating and it is very, very, I would highly recommend watching it because it's very important to watch. I know I say that sometimes, but you really get a good insight of what it is to be, how celebrity can really fuck you up, and how a sociopath could take over and become one of the biggest YouTubers ever to come out of that company. So a lot of dirty shit comes out, and it's sometimes it's uncomfortable because they show you footage of what he did to his ex. You're like,
Jeez.
this guy's a fucking scumbag, and that's being nice. So I highly recommend it. That's what I'm watching, the Onision documentary on Discovery Plus. Like I said, it's the only thing they got. So get a free trial real quick, watch that, and then kick them to the curb, and you'll never have to go back to Discovery Plus ever again.
I've been seeing ads for that. Who is Onision?
Yeah, so did I. And I was like, all right, I've had enough. Because they were like, you want a free trial? I'm like, sure, let's do it.
I'm interested in Discovery Plus for that Back to the Future series with oh my god, what's his name? There's this guy, there's a Back to the Future like fan with
with Christopher Lloyd, right?
Christopher Lloyd, yeah.
Dude, it was good. It was really good.
What was it? You checked it out?
Yeah, I did. They were selling the or they were trying to build the time machine again, right?
The
original?
so. Or I thought they were also traveling around.
Plus?
Yeah, Discovery Plus. Yeah, so they were trying to build the original, but there was 6 time machines built for the movie, and they're trying to find a DeLorean again, like an original DeLorean, then modify it to the full potential of the time machine that is in the movie, remote controlled and everything.
Oh wow.
And then
that's awesome.
then they auctioned it off for
Gosh, what is his charity?
To charity, but for Parkinson's.
Oh yeah.
For Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I knew that was coming. I just was like, it was in the back of my mind. It was like, I'll wait for it to drop. So that's cool that it's already there.
Yeah,
now I got something else to watch before I kick it to the curb. Like
it's a little corny, but I mean the story is it's cool, man. Like it honestly, I was like, man, I kind of want a DeLorean now. I want to buy the original car.
Yeah, like
fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Reminds me of the time when there was a film festival here in town around 2008, and then Christopher Lloyd was one of the like keynote speakers. And I made sure to buy the DVD trilogy set of Back to the Future, and then after the Q&A, like he talked, I lined up to talk to him, and I have his autograph on my DVD set.
That's awesome.
Man.
That's awesome.
But way before selfies and like pictures on your phone, so I never got pictures, but I have his autograph. So I'm like, he was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I even had my cousin asked me to have him sign his DVD cover of Clue. So.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Suburban Commando.
Oh wow! I forgot that he was in that.
I was frozen today.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Yeah, so thank you guys for listening. You guys can, of course, follow me on Instagram at FilmakerMike, and check out my YouTube channel as well on YouTube. You can now search for FilmakerMike, and you can find any of our channels and subscribe and support us if you'd like. And Jester.
Yeah, I'm on all kinds of social media. You can find me wherever you please. I do movie reviews when I can, and on YouTube.
You on Pornhub?
I mean, no, I'm not.
Baby.
Is that social media? I guess it kind of is.
I mean, if I could, no, I shouldn't. I shouldn't. I mean, I hear they make good money, but
OnlyFans.
I'll wear
Should be,
I'll wear the boba helmet, and so I'm still anonymous.
Ooh.
You know.
Don't do that because I'll rub it too raw.
Oh my gosh, it's okay. I'll just have my wife wear the stormtrooper helmet, and then it's like just like the show The Mandalorian when he does all those stormtroopers. So that's terrible. Now,
Either way, you know.
So yeah, I'm on all kinds of social media except for those platforms. Sorry, guys. And then follow Kuya, Old Man Jimmy on Instagram. Give him some love for me. So, Pinhead.
Yeah, follow me on the usual Pinhead198 on YouTube. We'll be doing that unboxing. Robbie's telling me, you know, we're gonna be unboxing Robbie. Pinhead198. Oh, I got a Switch now. It's under the same name. So if you want to come and whoop my ass on Smash Brothers, or you want to step in Mario Kart, that's maybe stupider than Mortal Kombat. But anyway, you want to come and play Switch, Pinhead198, find me on there because I'm on a Switch now. So I got that, and then my Instagram under the same name. So check them out. We're doing big things right now, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty then. Thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it. Feel free to follow us on any of our social medias. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, or you'd like to listen to us on Spotify, make sure to tap on that follow button so that you're informed of when we upload new episodes. And if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, we would appreciate if you would write a review. I deleted my podcast app for Apple recently just because it was taking up a lot of, I need to change my settings because it would automatically download like each podcast I'm subscribed to when I just want to stream it because it takes up like a lot of space eventually. So I don't think there's a new review there yet, but we'll try it next time for next episode. So this is a call to action because, you know, if more reviews are,
I can check it out right now,
then it will help other people, you know, or you could just write on the review like, this is a shit show.
Yeah,
I'm listening to it, but it's shit.
Right on there,
honest,
say,
you know?
fuck Pinhead198. He's a bitch ass piece of garbage.
dude. Be honest. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
fine.
Give us shitty reviews. I hope you do, man. I wish you would.
We have 7 ratings right now.
Ooh,
7
that's
5-stars. Yep.
That's cool. At least we got 7 ratings now.
Yeah.
We're moving on up.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
One grind at a time on OnlyFans. I mean, Apple Podcast.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Alrighty then. Thank you guys for listening. Till next time, stay safe out there.
Peace.
We'll see y'all
Bye.
soon.